Chapter 18, 1912. Alfred has developed an adult's physique, grown wiser each week, and done good deed after good deed. But right now he can only focus on his daughter, who runs past that pool of water, dryness, swiftness, and speed. The year is 1912. Belgian chocolatier is inventing praline-scented chocolate whilst he eats an evening meal. German physicist is patenting a new form of stainless steel, and a French historian is inventing the modern pentathlon after weeks spent thinking. In the Netherlands, an international consensus on drug control is starting to form. In China, a new republic is being born. And in the Atlantic Ocean, an unsinkable ship is now sinking. Whilst the British get ready for war by forming the Royal Flying Corps, which they celebrate with copious amounts of drinking. But Alfred only has eyes for his daughter, who he first met 5 years ago when she was covered in greasy mud, spurting blood and purple bumps. He'd helped her when she was bleeding, but he cannot now stop her from receding, as she jogs, jinks, and jumps, as she darts, dashes and dives, jolts, jostles, and jives to escape the stones which whiz past her head, as the shopkeeper throws stones into green hedges, green ledges, a green bench, and a green shed. "Who do you think you are for throwing stones at helpless girls?" Alfred asks as he stops the shopkeeper from moving ahead. "She blundered right on in and damn stole the pan from my shop, she did," the shopkeeper replies with dread. "I caught her in the act." As he yells his defence, the shopkeeper pushes Alfred into his fence, with his hands on Alfred's breast. But Alfred stands firm, which makes the shopkeeper squirm, become manic, and become possessed. "Who's she to be taking my things?" the shopkeeper says as he becomes demented, discontented, and stressed. "Dash and plunge. Stealing is stealing, and it's our duty to make sure her type don't never get away with it. You listen to me, boy." Really?" Alfred asks as he taps his shoe, whilst the daughter disappears from view, and that cow begins to moo. "Are you really without sin yourself? If so, please, be my guest. Please throw a first stone. Please, please, please. Throw as many stones as you like. But if you've ever sinned, then you're no different to her. No, no, no. No, thank you. And you should take a long, hard look at yourself." The shopkeeper's face flushes with red splodges, because he's angry at the way Alfred counters his dodges and blocks his retribution. But he cannot do anything about the daughter's theft, because she has already left, and cannot be seen from this institution. So Alfred walks past his coachman who flicks his reins, his motorist who greases his chains, and his driver who puts his car into gear, for he rests his feet on the very same seat from which he spied on the council last year. "Sorry," the daughter says, as she approaches Alfred here. "Oh, I am so very sorry, so very, very sorry. My name's Cleo, by the way." Cleo is as delicate as a flickering flame, both slight in figure and slight in frame, with a pair of eyebrows which rise like the morning sun. Her face is covered in freckles, which her mum called my solar system, as she pointed out Dot's as if to christen, before she pointed at Cleo's tongue. "That's, okay," Alfred replies with this warm inflection. "You saved me before, you know," Cleo says with affection. "Most people would condemn me. I'm so awfully naughty. I hope you don't consider me wrong. Oh, damnation. I suppose I am a bad girl. A damn bad girl. I was born bad, I've lived bad, and I'll die bad in all probability. But upon my lost soul, I won't never be bad near you again." "It's not for me to condemn," Alfred replies, as his heart caves in. "Let me repay you," Cleo says with a giggle, jiggle, and grin. "Oh, you will let me cook for you, won't you? It's only fair. Oh, I am sorry for suggesting it." "I'd love that," Alfred replies. Yes, thank you." Alfred says goodbye and goes to work, but he still sees Cleo's freckled smirk, which is the only thing on his mind. He desires their attachment with a passion which verges on harassment, and leaves him feeling resigned. So he walks with this restless action, and looks for a distraction of any imaginable kind. He walks past this cat's meat man, who is pushing horseflesh onto a skewer, this dredger who is working in a sewer, and this farmer who is working on his land. This farmer who milks his cow and guides his plough through soil, shoots, and sand. Alfred watches on as his crumbly earth gets turned, these slimy worms get churned, and their bodies get cut into slivers. He watches a robin eat the worm's remains, for a hawk carries that robin over these plains and over those gushing rivers. Alfred realises that all actions have reactions. All creatures are united by alliances, associations, and attractions, and all things are connected. So his plan has succeeded. His obsession with Cleo has receded. But the worm's pain has left him feeling dejected. He decides that it will never cause any living creature pain. They will never eat meat again, and that it will tell the good German what he just saw. So he tells the good German about the farmer's furrowed cheek, the robin's wormy beak, and the hawk's spiky claw. Please tell me, he asked his mentor, why are you a vegetarian? Well, dear boy, the good German replies as he closes his door, let me tell you about a friendly priest. This priest once saw a merchant carrying a cage of birds to market. The birds were miserable, yeah? They wanted to fly free. Why have you imprisoned these birds? The priest asked that merchant. To earn money, the merchant replied, so that I can buy food for my family. Well, dear Alfie, the priest listened patiently, like you are now. If someone stronger than yourself, she replied, were to capture your family, lock them away and sell them as slaves, would you be happy? The merchant shook his head. Well, aren't these birds also alive? The priest continued. Doesn't that make them members of your family too? Dear boy, anyone can make an argument like this, but the priest made her case well, yeah? The merchant marveled at her words. He started to make wicker baskets, and over time they became so profitable that he stopped selling the birds. But this merchant, was he a vegetarian? Alfred disputes. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't, the good German hoots. But he made a change for the better. It was hard for him, yeah? It took him time, but it was worth it in the end. This, I think, is the message. It's a message which Alfred takes to heart as he waits for his date with Cleo to start and practices his new diet. While stars shine their lights, days become nights, and his town becomes eerily quiet. Alfred gets tear-like rain on his Homburg hat before he finally arrives at Cleo's one-room flat where he removes his socks and shoes. Alfred gets tear-like rain on his Homburg hat before he finally arrives at Cleo's one-room basement flat where he removes his shoes and socks. Cleo falls to her knees just there and cleans Alfred's shoes with a cloth made of hair, which he keeps in an alabaster box. As she does this, Alfred notices how dark it is in here. He sees his mice who are slow to approach but quick to disappear, and his flies who have tiny faces. His straw mattress which is propped up against that wall, the stove which is tall, and this box which is full of shoelaces. He sees his drawers which are covered in tiny hairs, and this pair of broken chairs which are covered in tiny cracks. This tub of Cadbury's cocoa which Cleo stole from an inn, this battered tin, and this pile of Hessian sacks. Alfred can see why Cleo stole that pot, because it is the only one she has got. It's the only piece of cookware in here. She uses it to cook a stew with some bread on one side, before she blushes with pride, with a smile which reaches her ear. Do you like it? She says in an attempt to endear. I do hope you like it. I am sorry if you don't. It's delicious. Thank you, Alfred replies. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It reminds me of my mother's cooking. You've done a stand-up job. You're awesome. You're great. You're super duper. They continue to eat whilst Alfred talks about his folks, friends and family, before Cleo uses her pan to make some fresh tea, which she gives a hearty stir. She leaves it to simmer on this coal-fueled hob before she starts to sob when she says that her dad beat her. Not out of spite, she adds with a slur. No, oh no, Alfred, oh no, I'm sorry if I've betrayed him as some sort of brute. Please don't judge him. He did care. It's just that when he became unemployed and was sent to the workhouse, where they made him break granite for 12 hours each day, he let his anger out on me. That's all. Oh, I am sorry for mentioning it. Alfred can see that those beatings have decorated Cleo's skin and Cleo's chin with these marks which look like henna tattoos, with this lotus leaf near her thumb, this butterfly near her bum, and this bullfinch down near her shoes. Whenever Dad beat me, I bleed for hours on end, she continues. Like when you first met me, Dad had kicked me, punched me, and slapped me that day. He'd started the bleeding, which you stopped. Well, that had turned Mum crazy and convinced us both to run away. Eventually we found this place. It wasn't much, but it was ours, and that was all that mattered. We set up a laundry service for middle classes, and washed clothes by hand using lukewarm water, carbolic soap and washing soda. We were happy too, until Mum died of tuberculosis last year. She was only 35. I suppose it was for the best. Oh, I am sorry. That does make me sound awfully horrible, doesn't it just? But she had the most chronic cough. She was always choking up blood, shaking and shivering with cold sweats. Oh my. Oh, I am sorry for rattling on about such ghastly things. I haven't disgusted you, have I? I hope I haven't disgusted you. Aren't I terrible? Theo grinds her freckled jaws, which leads to his pregnant pause, which is her first silent moment tonight. Alfred could not think of any words which would be receptive, perceptive, or right. Why did you save me when I was being so awfully naughty? Cleo asks, in a manner which is forthright. You'd already rescued me once before. Oh, I am sorry for putting you out. I didn't inconvenience you, did I? How very ghastly. Please tell me, Alfred replies with a grin which covers his chin, as he speaks in a manner which a good German speaks to him. When you see someone drowning at sea, do you ask if they're a bad person who deserves to drown, or you do whatever you can to save them? You try to save him, I suppose, Cleo replies. Do you try and save him? Oh, I hope I've said the right thing. I am sorry if I haven't. Yes, 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 Alfred continues. And so when I saw the shopkeeper chasing you, I didn't ask if you deserved to be chased. No, no, no. I simply saw that you were in choppy waters and dived in to save you. And we're here as a result, so I'm pretty grateful for it, really. Anyway, that shopkeeper isn't so perfect himself. He's always lusting after women and pining over cars. He's rich, but he's not content. In his heart, if not his body, he steals with every breath. But you only steal out of necessity. And we'd all do that if we had to. Yes, thank you. These words heal Cleo of her 7 demons and pave the way for the coming seasons, during which time she meets Alfred each week. They scamper along the beach when the sea is still. They scurry up this town's tallest hill, and they sit in the town square to speak. They walk past this Luvia, Lorimer, and Librarian, and Cleo becomes a vegetarian within a few short weeks. And in the summer, Alfred tells Cleo that he loves her and smiles whilst he speaks. You make me fuzzy-wuzzy inside, he says with bulging cheeks. Well, what I mean is, you know, I think. No, I know. Yes, I know. Love you, Cleo. Alfred struggles to speak because whilst he has had childish flings before and given gifts to each new and more, he has never said anything more. He is given a red-headed girl with a triangular face and some wonky teeth and a wonky brace, a bouquet of flowers in bloom. He is given a spotty girl with a chubby smile, an awkward walk and an awkward style, a homemade wooden spoon. And he is given a busty girl with a crooked nose and crooked clothes, a bottle of cheap perfume. But such gifts not seem enough. They seem ribald, rugged and rough, without any calibre, charisma or charm. So Alfred removes his watch this afternoon and straps this fairly heirloom to Cleo's left arm. It's too much, she says with alarm. Oh, it's very kind of you, but do I deserve this? I am sorry, but it's too much for a ghastly girl like me. Oh my. I insist, Alfred replies. Please, please, please. You mean more to me than anyone else in the world. I think you're great. A top banana, the cream of a crop, and I want a small part of me to be by your side forevermore. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, thank you. Cleo touches her nose, bounces on her toes, and turns bright red. She flushes, she blushes, and she nods her freckled head. I want to be more like you, she tells Alfred. Would that be nice? I'm a good girl, really, aren't I? But I do want to be kinder. I'm not nearly kind enough. I am sorry for it. Truly I am. Please show me how to be good. Cleo asks this question because she knows about Alfred's good deeds and about how he helps people with needs, since he has saved her twice before. And although this is the first time Alfred has been asked for this sort of advice, he does not think twice before he leads Cleo out through his door. They soon arrive at this orphanage, which is full of collapsing walls, crumbling halls, cracking furniture and creaking doors, where Cleo is rendered tender-hearted with pity for these orphans who are just so gritty, sat down on these gritty floors, near the chef who is counting some food in a sleepy mood inside his empty stores. Long time no see, he says as he closes his empty drawers. Time flies, Alfred roars. This is Cleo. She'd like to volunteer here. She'd be ever so grateful. She'd be very much obliged. And so Cleo starts to wash these orphans' laundry, clean their pantry, and serve their tea. She wipes this orphan's nose, darns his clothes, and smiles with cheeky glee. But it is this matron with wispy grey hair and this crooked stare who inspires Cleo the most. He teaches Cleo how to treat chills, administer pills, and bandage wounds which are gross. Cleo loves this nursing work, so she starts to smirk when she talks about the cutest baby she has ever known, about goofy tots who look so sweet, naughty toddlers with grubby feet, and sick children who she treats alone. Cleo's energy is so carefree, cheerful, and contagious that it makes Alfred find this town outrageous wherever he goes to roam. He falls in love with the places, streets, structures, and spaces which surround his childhood home. He sees vigour wherever he goes to sneak, even though strikes are at a peak, 40 million days being lost to industrial action, even though 20% of the population live in poverty in this nation, without any satisfaction. Even though 20% of the population live in poverty in this nation, without any satisfaction. Alfred sees chimney sweeps work for gentlemen who are dressed in silk, milkmen who deliver their milk, and salesmen who shout until they're sore. He sees his painter paint these loos, this cobbler fix these shoes, and this handyman fix this door. He sees his women in their allotments who work on their knees, make homemade chutneys, bake homemade bread which is brown. And he sees his women who cook, clean and care, sew, stitch and share, before they go to shop in town. So he feels proud, privileged and patriotic, regal, refined and rhapsodic, as he walks down this market's paths, as he walks past these stalls which sell white wheat, white meat, white sinks and white baths. He skips all the way to these bustling docks, which sit beneath these tumbling rocks and above this tumbling ocean. This ocean which is full of gudgeon, grinterlow and globsters, lusca, leviathans and lobsters, who will swim with a wonky motion. His friends are out of the bay, on a sea which starts to sway, as this wind grips hold of their sail, as this wind creates a crescendo with this mighty blow which sends forth this icy hail. This gust pummels their trawler starward bound, and lifts the mute boy off the ground along with this other debris. It carries him through the air above that chair and then dumps him into the sea. His ship moves right on the breaking swell, and the mute boy drifts left as well, on top of these frothy waves. He floats away across the bay towards that row of caves. So Alfred throws his clothes down onto the scree and runs into this sea without even stopping to think. Without leaving anything to spare, he exposes his hair and the skin, which is pale pink. He bashes a wave into place with a serene face and feet which are both in sync. Alfred's feet keep him stable, steady and strong, as they propel him along with a melodic sort of grace, such that Alfred appears to elevate, to levitate, and to walk on this water's surface. For these fishermen, filled with fear, grab anything near and ignore the pleas in this place, which shout, "Please don't think we're making a fuss," which scream, "Please help us," which ask, "What's to discuss?" Alfred swims alongside the fisherman's ship with a mute boy in his grip inside his muscled arm. But overcome with confusion, the fishermen think that he is an illusion and that his calls are false alarms. "An evil spirit is calling us from the storm," a rugged fisherman begins to shout. "Ignore her, she'll gobble you down whole," a rugged fisherman blurts out, before this bucket falls from its hook and hits his head, which makes him fall over with his arms outspread and roll across his soggy deck. He rolls towards where Alfred is yelling, with skin which is swelling around his soggy neck. And now there is restoration, there is liberation, and there is salvation. This fisherman holds out his soggy arm, catches Alfred in his soggy palm, and lifts Alfred up high. These winds now cease, these waves now decrease, and these rains now begin to dry. This thunder lightens, this lightning quietens, and the storm begins to die. This crew escape death, so they catch their breath, and they guffaw. They snicker, they snigger, and they roll across this sodden floor. "Alfred, ye truly are something else," these fishermen start to yowl, howl, and roar, before the mute boy shrieks with a smile on his cheeks, and Alfred speaks once more. "Oh, ye of little faith, thank you, thank you, thank you. Did you ever to help me?